Hey everyone, I'm Belle Reid and welcome back to another video. I recently shared a video on this channel all about no-input mixing, in which we took a look at 4 different mixers to see how they would respond to various no-input feedback patching techniques. I got a lot of super interesting questions following the release of that video, and one of the things that kept coming up was whether or not you could insert effects pedals into a no-input mixer setup. And if you could, what it would sound like and what kinds of effects would yield the most interesting results. So I thought I would make a little follow-up video here to dive into this topic further. Today we're going to take a look at adding some different effects pedals into no-input mixer patches to see what kind of new, weird sonic territory we can get to. If you're brand new to the topic of no-input mixing, I'll leave some links in the description of this video to a couple of other videos that I've made that will walk you through what this is all about, how it works, and some patch ideas to help you get started. So I personally haven't done much experimenting with adding effects pedals into my no-input mixer setup. So I really appreciate all of you sending in these questions because now we get to dive into something new and see where it leads us. Today I'm going to be demoing things using my Yamaha mixer and a few different pedals that I happen to already have here in my studio. But if there's one thing I've discovered with all of this, it's that these techniques are going to sound super cool and they're going to vary wildly from mixer to mixer and probably from pedal to pedal. So you definitely don't have to have the exact same setup as I do in order to explore these techniques. And I encourage you to play around with whatever you might happen to have on hand and let me know if you discover something cool. A super quick reminder before we start making some sound, it's really important with feedback-based patching to protect your ears and your speakers. Output levels can get really, really hot and they can vary quite a lot and be unpredictable. So I always recommend keeping your final output levels low. And with all of that said, let's get started. This is the ring thing made by Electro-Harmonix. So the main features of this pedal are a pitch shifter, a ring modulator, a frequency shifter, and there's some built-in modulation with variable wave shape and a filter. So I'm just going to start off with a simple loop here. I'm running from the FX send of the mixer into the pedal, out from the pedal, back into channel 1 of the mixer. Something that's really cool about this pedal is that when it's in pitch shift mode, it has a dedicated LFO for modulating the pitch shift amount. So I'm going to turn up the modulation depth here now and play around with that a little bit. is the Tensor, made by Red Panda. It's a time warping, pitch shifting, granularizing tape music style effect that allows you to loop and reverse sounds, change playback speed, time stretch incoming audio, and generally just to glitch and scramble things, which is a lot of fun. So once again, I'm starting here with this simple loop from the FX send and back out from the pedal into channel 1. So let's take a listen to this. This is the Protostar made by WMD. It's a filter auto wah pedal with a built-in LFO modulation and envelope follower. And it has 4 different filter outputs. This pedal also has a control voltage patch bay, which is pretty cool. And this means that you can modulate the LFO rate, the LFO depth, the filter cutoff, and the resonance. So if you think about it, a filter and an EQ, like we have here on the mixer, are really similar to one another. And when you're playing no input mixer, one of the most interesting performative aspects is tuning the high, mid, and low EQs on the mixer. So it makes a lot of sense that this pedal would yield some pretty interesting results. And the thing that I'm finding really cool about this at the moment is that, of course, we have this built-in LFO. So we're not only able to make these sort of EQ adjustments, but we're able to modulate and automate them, which is pretty fun. The data corruptor made by Earthquaker Devices is a PLL-based harmonizer pedal that has 3 built-in oscillators that attempt to track the incoming signal. Now, usually PLLs are used to make instruments like guitars sound more like a synthesizer, but the results are typically pretty chaotic and unpredictable, which adds a lot to their charm. Now, I guess strictly speaking, since this pedal does have oscillators built in, our patch won't exactly be no input per se. But my main goal here is really just to explore unpredictable feedback paths and discover some quirky and unusual ways to create and interact with sound. So I'd say we're definitely still doing that. And while we're on this topic, I want to say that, in my opinion at least, there's really no right or wrong way to do any of this. I've gotten some questions from folks asking if it's cheating to include pedals or other tools in your no-input patches. My perspective is that whatever gets you to the sound and the music that excites and inspires you the most is the way to go. So just follow what seems interesting to you. So let's take a listen to what this pedal has going on. This is the Fuzz God 2 made by Witch. It's a distortion, overdrive, and fuzz pedal. I'm honestly not 100% sure if this is really going to yield anything super interesting with the no-input mixer, just given how distorted and overdriven the feedback signals already are coming from the mixer. But I thought it would be worth giving it a try. Turns out it does do cool stuff, so that's why we should always try things. I'm going to add another cable here and see what happens. Okay, so as always, I can't resist throwing in something kind of weird. So, this Boss voice transformer from the 1990s is a vocal modulator
that has a built-in Foreman shifter, a pitch shifter, a built-in reverb, and it has this fantastic button labeled robot, which makes me very happy. So this was intended to process
a human voice, but I thought, why not try it out with no input mixer
and see what happens. So here we go. Okay, so no input mixing already was one of my favorite techniques for getting to noisy, chaotic, and unpredictable sounds and textures. And now adding in all of these different effects pedals just brings things to a whole new world of exploration, which I don't know about all of you, but I find it super cool and inspiring. I also wanted to mention something really amazing that's been happening recently is some of you are tagging me on social media with your no input mixer experiments. Thank you so much for doing that. It always makes my day. And if you continue to experiment and maybe add some effects and some pedals into your patches, I would absolutely love to see and hear the results of your explorations. If you want to pick up a pedal, a mixer, or some colorful patch cables for yourself, there are some affiliate links in the description of this video with everything that I used in this video today. Anything that you buy through those links helps to support this channel so I can continue making more videos like this one. If you're looking for an awesome community of folks who love sharing about experimental sound and synthesis, or if you're interested in unreleased music and extended tutorials and downloads of cool things like patch bundles and musical Max MSP applications, then I invite you to check out my Patreon community at patreon.com/SarahBelleReid. That's it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.